Food for Thought with Professor David Dete.
Another beautiful Friday morning. How are you doing? Welcome to another episode of Food for Thought with Professor Ndete. Over the last couple of weeks, we have been dissecting suicide and trying to understand what goes on in the mind of a suicidal person, what processes are they going through, how can we even begin to help them. Today we want to focus on children. We hear cases of children who commit suicide because they didn't get the grades they wanted, or they commit suicide because they were told not to go for a certain event. And I wonder, what would make a child get to the point where they think taking their life is the better option? That's the discussion for today on Food for Thought with Professor Ndete. Listen in.
Yeah.
So, Professor, let's talk about children and suicide. Somebody was telling me last week of an incident that happened somewhere where something happened in the family and this young boy just decided to take their life. We've had stories of children who did not get the desired result in their exams and they just take their life. I've also heard of a story of a child who was being told she cannot engage in a relationship because she's too young. She takes her life. So what is happening with our children? I mean, I'm thinking a child is somebody who has a lot to look forward to. What would make a child get to a place where they think taking their life is the better option?
Well, put it this way. I remember once upon a time, and I can with a lot of pride mention this. It was a late Joseph Muhanchi who introduced me to psychiatry. And this is the way he put it. That if you ever see a child with a problem, with an emotional problem, remember the child is not the problem. The child is a scapegoat of a problem in the family.
Oh.
Just go to the family and find out. That's what he told me. That's what he taught us that time. And over time, that has been proven to be the case over and over and over again. You cannot treat a child in isolation with what is happening in the family. And involvement of a family in the treatment session is very important, so that you discuss with the father, with the mother, and the sisters, if you can get them. And this is how we do things here. We get everybody together. And you start talking. And of course, what you hear from the father is that, well, I pay school fees. I am doing very well. This child has no problem at all. More often than not, children are not interested in their parents' money. They are interested in relationships.
Wow.
And the relationship can only be developed where there is mutual dialogue. Find time to spend with your children. We have had that opportunity during the COVID, but we did not use, well, it's still going on.
Yes.
We did not use it effectively because we have not learned the importance of relating with the children. Children can be actually very receptive. But the point we are making is very true. Many children develop emotional problems. They can develop emotional problems because of depression, for which they have no control. Children do get depressed. I want you to understand that. They do get depressed. And as may have said last time, they even get children in the stomach, in the wombs, have emotional problems. That has been demonstrated over and over again. So the whole thing is, can the families know that, can the fathers, can the mothers, can the families know that how they relate with one another, how the mother relates with the father? Very, very important. If it's negative, the children will pick it very, very, very early.
Yes.
Like, even before you people know that you have a problem. Do you know how to interpret it? Mom and dad are having a problem because of me. I am a bad child. Yes, that's how they do something. they are having a problem because I'm a bad child, and they take responsibility for it. And the only way to create peace, so they believe, is to get out of a sin. I said a little bit earlier on, we would also need to differentiate what I call parasuicide and real suicidal attempts.
Yeah.
But then, in the process, say this person is trying to get the attention of the parents, things can go terribly wrong, and you get accidental suicide.
Yes.
So each one of them, it's very important to look at these from that combined perspective. Even if if there's a problem that this child is trying to get attention, or because of peer pressure, whatever, that can be dialogue. Now, the good news is that if you bring the parents together, if you bring everybody together, you'll be surprised the difference it makes, because each one of them had their own explanatory model as to what was happening.
Yeah.
But if you bring common understanding amongst all people in the family, it makes a lot of difference. So let us not rush into blaming children. Let us instead go and bring everybody together, and we talk together as a family. Of course, we under the guidance of a pastor like you, a nurse, a clinical officer, a category, if they are available, but it requires time.
Okay.
You cannot do this in 5 minutes. We are talking about 1 hour for you to bring everybody and to create an environment where people can freely express themselves without being judgmental. How many times have I been told by children here, tell mom, tell dad, we appreciate the things they have given us, but we are not interested in the things that they have given us. We are interested in them.
Wow.
And what a powerful statement.
Yes.
And when parents hear, hey, these children really love us, that's how much they care, they are also human beings. They begin to understand it. Ignorance is very expensive.
Wow.
And most of these problems are occurring because we do not know. There is no awareness.
That's a good place to end. Professor, thank you so much for your time this morning. Wazazi, I hope tumesikia. That parting shot is such a powerful shot. You know, children are not concerned about the things we give them. They just want us. Let's make time. Let's avail ourselves. Let's be part of their lives. That ends another session, Food for Thought. And remember, even as the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Let's pay closer attention to our mental health. Have a great morning.